preseason. So I feel really excited about where our defense is at. We go against them every day. It's tough. We'll continue to fix the things we can fix from the preseason game.
What would you say about the energy, the effort from the defense tonight?
We'll look at the tape and assess where it's at. But, again, I practice against them every single day. Love where our defense is at. There's a lot of things that give the offense a really hard time right now, so we'll just continue to build off of that.
You put Joe in there with for his third drive. He was in there with not the usual cast of characters.
Yep.
There was just guys you wanted to get a look at with him.
Yeah, and that was really something he had talked about with me, getting Jamar and T out of there and working with some of the guys that you never know. At some point in the season, you got to work with them. And we got different roles for all those guys, and I thought those guys stepped up well and supported him and able to put together that touchdown drive there on the third drive.
Was Jalen part of that? You wanted to get Jalen Rivers in with the first group?
That wasn't necessarily the plan. I mean, that's something we've talked about over time. I think Lucas is a little dinged up right now, so we'll assess where he's at. But that's really what happened more there.
Did he injure himself on Joe's sack where
I'm not sure which play he injured himself.
There was a report yesterday that you guys are actively listening to teams regarding Trey Hendrickson.
I got nothing to do with that.
And your thoughts on Mitchell Tinsley, the two plays?
Baller.
Main time.
What has he done for the profile of Southern Illinois? Or not? Thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Mitch, he just works hard, and he's become a guy that everybody really respects in the locker room. I don't know that I've ever heard him speak. Maybe someone can get him tonight, but he just goes out there and just works, and we respect that, And again, just he created the opportunities for himself. He's done enough in practice to where we wanted to put him in positions to be at the point of attack when he was in the game there, and he rewarded himself with touchdowns and catches and extending drives and someone that's reliable for the quarterbacks and all of us. And so just proud of him. This is the last team he was with, if I'm not mistaken. So probably neat situation for him to come back on this field and do what he just did.
That's what you do when you gave Cap that he was coming back to where
him and Joe Giles Harris, just two guys. There's a lot of guys that have had really good camps. Those are two guys that have just quietly done what we ask them to do and continue to work every single day to get better. And again, there could have been a bunch of guys we put out there, but just felt appropriate for today. Those two guys, one on offense, one on defense.
How important was it for Jake to do what he did in his opportunity?
I thought Jake did a good job. Kind of good rhythm. We had some back-to-back plays that we got to look at pre-snap. What happened? I'm not entirely sure. That stalled out that one drive, but I thought Jake did a really good job keeping the ball moving forward, finding completions, managing. There were some check situations he had to get into defensively that I thought he did a good job of, and so I was proud with the way Jake played. He got the ball in the -2 one time and got us all the way across. We felt like we should have gotten a little more there, but Jake did a good job moving us.
You holding your breath on that Burrow scramble that almost felt like it was never.
It's one of those things for him. That's what preseason football's for. Do I love seeing that? No, I don't. But at the same time, he's out there learning what he can and can't do, and we've seen him get out of that stuff before, and that's why he's playing in the preseason, for a chance to feel what it's like to feel in a game. And there's times where he's going to get out of that and get a big play, and there's going to be times where we're in a tough spot on the 2-yard line, and so he gets a chance to feel all that and learn from it. And so again, I think it was three good series that we'll continue to grow from.
Was he getting 3 regardless?
It was always in my head. It was always 2 to 3. I don't know what I'd said publicly, but I think if that second drive was a clean touchdown drive, maybe that would have prevented it. But we gave him a third one because of the way the second one ended.
Did Cody Ford get injured in practice, and is that a serious injury?
I wouldn't say serious injury. I didn't see any reason to play him tonight through that injury. I think if it was a game, he would have been available. He definitely would have played. So it's better just to let him rehab through it.
4 out of 5 touchdown drives for that first group with Burrow. Where do you think the offense is?
Well, there's always things we can clean up, and so I don't think it's where we want to be yet for Cleveland. Again, we'll assess this tape and see where we were good in protection, run game, and how detailed we were in the pass game. But I like where this offense and this team is at right now at this point in training camp. I really do. The defense has – we've had some days where it's been difficult days. The defense has definitely won the day, and so I like where guys are at. From a health perspective, we're in a good spot, all things considering. where we're at in training camp. And so we just got to have one more great week, and then we kind of get that bonus week for Cleveland and be ready to go.
Is there anything that jumps out to you from the 2 games that you played the starters on defense that you really like and feel good about?
Yeah, there's things we're going to continue to build on. We're not pushing the envelope with what we're asking them to do right now. Playing as close to the vest as possible. Obviously, we shouldn't have given up big runs like that. So those are things that we have to clean up. I think there's really been about 3 of them so far in these 2 games. So those are things that we don't want and we can avoid. And whatever the call is, we should do a better job at that. But at the same time, I know what I see every day in practice, and I'm excited about the direction of our defense.
Getting that goal line rep with Chase and able to punch it in, is that like a bonus in the preseason to be able to check that one off?
Yeah, that's a mentality. I think we're on the 1 yard line there, 4th and goal. So it's good for our guys to get somewhat of a surge there and push the ball in the end zone. And, we're going to be in those situations at some point this year.